And it looks like we are going to be starting off with Mausoleum. Not skipping a beat here. Not a moment of hesitation beyond the delay that was the start. But there's always a delay at the start. One way or another. Once Tamashii has gathered up her courage, she will step into the arena lobby and will commence the battling against Yam. Role player stepping into the ring. Tamashii going in with Mechanica. Yam going in with Min Min. This is going to be an exciting bout. Starting things off. Tamashii's got quite a nice loadout there. She's got a Chilla, got a Chakram, got a Hydra equipped. And Yam has that Parasol, has the Phoenix equipped and ready to go. Two definitely very solid arms. And can definitely allow Yam to be a lot safer against that Hydra with that Parasol's just larger body. Tamashii starting off with some pressure, does get a knockdown, but Yam gonna respond with a Phoenix knockdown and gets the advantage, getting that Dragon Arm charged up and ready. Tamashii trying to find her way in. If she gets any charged hit to connect, that will take away Yam's Dragon Arm. The ice will result in a freeze. The Hydra just an instant knockdown. But Tamashii has to find a way in, has to find an opportunity to get that damage if she wants to be able to start winning things back in her favor. And that Hydra going to open up that chance. Playing very patiently, just trying to wait things out. Look for moments where she can really get those snipes in. That's going to be a safe block, but she is going to take a light amount of damage from that shield break. Looks like she's trying to set up for a potential rush now as a response. Find a way in, get some more damage, and she sees the moment. It's going to miss though. And Yam going to be able to safely block it out. Parasol knocks Tamashii into critical. And now just a single hit more is all Yam needs to lead the KO. But Tamashii not giving up yet. A wake-up grab going to push Yam back into the wall. But that Phoenix is going to swipe down, parry down those Hydra bullets, and gives Yam the first round. Tamashii switching all the arms. Determined to pick the right suit to be able to take this bout. And it looks like she's going to be going in with the Hydra and Chakram. Yam able to find a moment to get that Dragon Arm set up. It's already going in strong with tempo and holding the lead with 2 hits. Tamashii's starting to get a little bit of tempo of her own, gets a bit more damage, but the Parasol is just causing her so much trouble. Just walling out a lot of her movements. Yam doing an effective job of just guiding it towards whichever way Tamashii is wanting to approach, and walling out so many of those Hydra bolts, allowing Yam to have just so much more space to fight and get these good punishes. Tamashii not giving up too much yet though, and is getting some solid damage and currently has a health lead. That Parasol not going to do too much damage when Tamashii does have that armor. Whenever she's in movement, whenever she's in action, the armor is active, and anything that is not an instant knockdown pretty much guarantees that Tamashii will just be safe to continue moving, continue fighting, and she's going to be able to take a round off of Yam and sets herself up with a balanced score of 1-1. Heading into this next round, Tamashii gonna be able to get a Chakram grab confirm and sets herself up with 270 damage lead, currently oppressing Yam right now, who finally, after losing half of their health, is gonna get that Dragon Arm and lands their rush, quickly balancing things out. Another Roaster snipe, starting to give Tamashii a lot more trouble. That Roaster a lot faster than the Parasol, and just able to knock her down so much more consistently. Yeah, I'm still sticking with that Phoenix on the Dragon Arm. Definitely a very powerful pick, as it just makes it that much larger of a body and keeps that perma-charge state, making it so much easier for Yam to get these punishes and pokes. Yeah, I'm not going to get knocked down from that Chakram, but is actually starting to get pretty low on health, and if Tamashii can find a good confirm, she's not going to get that chance, so the grab just a little too far and open, and Yam going to capitalize on that, gets the KO. Very close, very exciting round. We'll see if she's able to turn things or surprise us with this next bout. If she can get some good pressure, if she can keep close up to Yam and just keep them on their feet, I could definitely see her being able to take this. Yam had no idea what to expect, just completely blindsided. And Tamashii can definitely utilize that to her advantage, utilizing just good old mech power and brawn, and just being somebody that not many players are too used to, considering she tends to spend most of her time commentating. So it's definitely a nice little asset that she can utilize. And it looks like we're going to be heading to Via Dolce next. This could work out well for her. But there is still that caveat. It is a long stage. If Tamashii cannot find her way in to get close enough to Yam, this is Yam's game. This is Yam's set, and it's going to be a clean closeout. But if Tamashii can find a way to get close enough, start getting some good oppression, I could definitely see this going in her favor. And it looks like she's going to switch over to the tribal here. That would be really risky if not for the fact that Yam actually chose to put the parasol away. Which means that that double light loadout can actually fight back a little more effectively. There is still that ice dragon that those beams can cause some good walls. But as long as Tamashii's keeping this pressure up, Yam might just not have the time to be able to get anything serious going for them. Both players neck and neck. Tamashii holding on to a light lead, has that pressure advantage. Has Yam backed up and against the wall, and getting some solid damage here and there. Yam going to be the first to get that dragon arm set up, or get that rush ready, and is going to be able to utilize that pressure to land the grab. Tamashii trying to find her way and gets another Hydra snipe. Guaranteed knockdown every time, just a very safe and rewarding alternative. But you could tell Tamashii's a lot more scared of Yam's rush than Yam is of Tamashii's, and so far has managed to land 2 grabs as a result. Another stun with the tribal of Tamashii can find a rush confirm. That could have been her round, but Yam gonna feel forced to throw out theirs. This time not going for the grab, and that's going to allow them to get that point. Looks like Tamashii is going to change things over, going for a full stun build. Chakram and Tribal looking for some grab combos and some solid coverage. But that grab going to come in a little too fast for Tamashii to be able to keep up with. And the rush just not going to be able to cut it there, as that Phoenix wipes right from underneath that deflect. And is going to allow Yam to get a nice opportunity to get that Dragon Arm charged up. Tamashii's struggling to keep up with this right now. Yam is backed up in the corner, but still confident that they have enough room to be able to play this out. Getting some solid snipes, and now just looking for it. One rush confirm, just a little bit more damage to take Tamashii out. That rush is not going to be able to KO, and doesn't even get the shield break though. That one freeze, that means that Tamashii is at critical. She cannot take a single hit more, and it's going to be that Dragon Snipe closing things out. Yeah, moving on 2-0. And Tamashii heading into the lower bracket to face off against her next opponent. Tamashi with some excellent plays. Some really exciting matches going on there. And actually, yeah, just a solid job with a lot of that pressure. I feel like she was a little too hesitant in a lot of cases and went for a lot of grabs. And Yam just was able to just power through them all, able to get some really good punishes and close things out in the end. It looks like this will be the first match to close out here, which means that Yam will be moving on to, and we are going to be waiting for that next opponent. Cosmo and Yoshi just recently began. And I know Dog and Shady are currently in the midst of their bout. Oh, it looks like we've got the results for them. But we'll see how that really updates in due time. Hopefully they update soon. I don't know what's going on with the sessions. It doesn't tell me how long things have been going again. It's not nice. Maybe we'll see more of Dog or Tamashi. Well, we might potentially see one or the other, as the two are going to be pitched against each other in the lower brackets. It's definitely going to be an exciting one. I will not be able to stream that one, unfortunately, as we're going to be moving into the winner semifinals with Shady and Yam. Alright, let's get things set up here. Yeah, I'm sure we might see one. Oh, it's hard to say. Because they would have to take down the loser of C5 to be able to move on. And judging from how the bracket looks, it's gonna be, could be somebody pretty tough. Alright, we got Shady. Everybody's in their room. Yeah. Hopefully all of you are doing well in Viewerland, having fun watching things, maybe playing some video game of your own. I really, really, really want Ring Fit Adventure. That game looks like it is many fun. It looks like exactly like the kind of game I want right now. If Celeste was the game that I needed emotionally, Ring Fit Adventure is the game I need physically. You combine those two games, and that's the perfect Malieve game right now. All the beautiful emotions, mountain climbing, and then you gotta go fight a mob dragon. I want that game so bad. I want it more than pretty much anything other game right now. Like, that is my game to get. Heading into our next round, Shady going in with the Roaster Chakram, a very solid loadout. Yeah, I'm going in with another, again, solid loadout. Something that worked out very well for them against Tamashii. That Parasol and the Roaster set up. The Roaster on that Dragon Arm, meaning that it's going to be that much easier to get that pressure, get those pokes in. Parasol doing a fantastic job of what it does best, and that is covering out all these attacks. Some really solid boxing from that Parasol. Having one of the fastest retraction speeds in this game at close range. Both players about even right now, but that Parasol gonna open up a nice opportunity for Yam to get the Dragon Arm charged up again, and even lands a nice Roaster Punish. Holding on to a mild health lead right now, but he's gonna have that not taken away by the rush. A perfectly timed evade and shield. Gonna allow Yam to stay in this bout, and not gonna get the KO yet, but is just looking for one final hit. And with 8 seconds left on the clock, very unlikely for Shady to be able to bring things back. And we're gonna see Yam take the first point. Heading into our next round, Shady gonna quickly start with this oppression, not looking to let Yam get that Dragon Arm charge up, even punishes that back flip attempt. And right now holding on to that health lead, that pressure. Yam going to be able to find an opportunity to get that Dragon Arm ready though, and that's just gonna allow them to have so much more room to be able to fight back and potentially try to balance things out and even more so, get that lead back rolling in their favor. This rush, though, gonna wall Yam out. 325 damage. Shady now just looking for a nice grab confirm with that Chakram. Or just a little bit of damage on top of that. But 360 rush balances out that health pool. And Yam, now ready with that Dragon Arm again, is definitely back in this game. And with this space, gonna have a much easier time trying to pressure out Shady. But there's only so much space in Temple Grounds, and Yam quickly dashes back into this corner and now has no options left, and Shady gonna capitalize on that, landing a hearty KO. Shady quickly closing in the distance, looking to make sure that Dragon Arm does not happen again. And is going to start off with a strong 355 damage rush, immediately setting up with advantage. And making sure, with that forward rollback, that Yam is not going to have the chance to be able to get that Dragon Arm up and ready. There is a rush, and that's probably going to be a confirmed chance for Yam to get their Dragon Arm. But Shady just has to kind of slow things down, keep things in their tempo. And that rush might not even be that rewarding. 360, that's going to put Yam in an opportunity to get the Dragon Arm ready. But Shady quickly giving in to the chase again. And is closing out Yam's options. And this rush going to just wall them out. Not going to be able to KO just yet. But now Shady just looking for that one final hit. And it's going to be the grab. Setting up Shady with a 1-point advantage. Also, there. I had the scores wrong, but now they're good. It looks like we're going to be heading to Buster Beach for our next bout. Hi, Tabby! I promise. I want to get into Kirby Clash again. I want to play that more. I'm just too busy with all this other stuff. I've got way too much going on, way too little time for it all. I do have really good time in Celeste though now. Like the last few weeks of just grinding have really started to pay off. Starting off this bout in Buster Beach. Yeah, I'm gonna switch over to the Bub, putting that roaster away and looking for a more optimal boxing speed and size, as that thing not only gets bigger when charged, but with that maximum permacharge the Dragon Arm applies, just makes it one of the biggest things in this game. And absolutely comical and beautiful to see on Min Min. Shady getting good pressure though, getting some solid reads, and is going to be able to land this rush fairly confidently. 315 damage, missing out on a bit of damage, going in for the tri-bolt finishing touch, as opposed to that roaster. Yeah, I'm not able to land this Mander though for their rush. That's going to just balance things out. That could have easily put Shady in a 1 or 2 hit KO range, but they're going to stay nice and healthy, as that Mander was not able to reach yet, but there it is. Now, yeah, I'm just looking for one final hit, and it's gonna be the slaps. Not too hot of a slap, but still a slap nonetheless. Yeah, I'm gonna switch things up a little bit. Now with that space, looking to try to capitalize on the Dragon Arm Parabola, but so far, Shady gonna quickly close in that distance, gets that uncharged grab combo, and just immediately has Yam pressured back into the corner with little to no options available to them. Yam trying to find a way to get things set up for themselves, and this rush is going to be able to open it up. 325 damage. But now Shady has a rush ready and is going to quickly snuff out their opportunity. 305 damage, and a grab is going to quickly put Shady back in advantage. And now, Shady just looking for one more win to be able to move on in the bracket. Yam has to be able to take this round to balance out the score, potentially set themselves up with an opportunity to progress. But Shady constantly just turning things around completely. Yam gets a good first round, and then Shady's just like, oh right, that's what you're doing. Here, I'll just answer that completely now. Another problem that I noticed, or another thing I noticed, is that, again, Yam is, even when they win, Yam is changing up their arms, but if they lose, they stick with the arms loadout that ended up costing them, which we'll have to see if it works out for them this time, but so far it has not given favorable results. 350 damage though, Shady in critical, Yam just a bit above. But 2 quick snipes, and that's balancing things out. And that grab confirm could have closed things out, but it's going to be that jump. And that barrage of punches just going to leave Yam completely open. Shady playing patiently, looking for the right moment, and is going to be able to bring out a KO as a result. Hello there, Manu. Welcome back to the world of arms, or welcome to. I feel like I remember you. The name doth ring a bell. Yeah, heading in. So that with that result, Shady going to be moving into the winter finals. And we'll be looking to face off against either Iceman or the winner of round 1, who has yet to be determined due to various issues popping up here and there. Hopefully that gets resolved pretty soon. I think they're just starting up one more lobby, making one more swing at things. Yeah, well, we'll see how that's going. How's all the lives going? Cause I'm tired. It's a nice day, or it's a pretty day out. It's snowing. It's all slippery and wishy. I couldn't really do much of my workout. Then again, I'm not really in the physical state that should be doing that kind of stuff right now. I'm pretty physically drained anyways. Regardless, I did spend some time on the walking machine that does like this half circles. That was fun, and then I did a bit of jogging. It was some light exercise, nothing too drastic. But overall, still healthy, still good. At least some effort on that. I do really want Ring Fit Adventure though. I want to go fight the buff dragon. He looks so handsome and beautiful, and I want to dance with him. I want to befriend the buff dragon and work out with him and become buff together. It's a really interesting game because it's like, it's not super exciting in terms of its lore, its story, its gameplay, or anything like that. But the way that, the fact that it's like, how it's designed and everything is like really nice and just pleasant. And it's fun with the idea of just being able to like work out and play a game. And it's like, my ex, like, I like it so much more than what Wii Fit was because of the prospect of like, where Wii Fit was like, you're doing the exercises, it's cool, and there's the couple of mini games in there, but it was just exercise. Or this one, it's like, if you do 3 more crunches, you beat the dragon, and he dies, and it's like, oh! Like, gamifying things is such an interesting thing. It's really exciting, it's really cool to be able to see how like everything turned, how you can kind of make anything into a game if you really want. You did it, Tamashi! Ooh! Make sure you give hugs to dog. I'm proud of you both. There. I think they inputted scores. Yeah, alright. So Cosmo got 2-0. And we'll be moving on to face off against Cosmo. So Tamashi's still in this. She's still there for you, Oily. Ollie, I'm sorry. Oli. Oh, I'm terrible. Ollie, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for supporting Tamashi. Thank you for being there for her. There. Now we got Iceman in, so we can start doing stage striking. Not yet, buddy. You need to do stage striking. Such an eager beaver. Beager Ever. Tamashi's still in this, and will be facing off against whoever gets knocked out here. So Tamashi definitely going to be wanting to keep an eye on this one. Make some notes. See what's going on. I think they're doing... that. Well, hello there, Fez. All stages? We can turn on all stages. It's all stages are open. Iceman says they're fine with it. Wait on Cosmo to say something. I'm not sure if they're going to. And it looks like we're going to be heading into Ribbon Ring. So this is a pretty interesting stage. For a while it has been seen as potentially competitive. It's one of the ones that are a little more divisive amongst the community. I personally really do not think this stage works competitively. Not because of the variants, not because of the thicker blocks. My main problem with Ribbon Ring is the fact that the blocks will, however the match is going, they're kind of, they show up eventually, and they usually telegraph it, but at the same time, if it's not in your camera focus, you don't see those blocks there, and that can often mean that some of your dashes, some of your movement will just result in you walking right into them, preventing you from being able to approach or play the way you're kind of wanting to, without having to immediately being forced to make a very big jump or dash in a way that allows you to punch down the blocks to your side so you have more openings. It's definitely, it can get to be a little limiting of a stage. But so far, both players managing to hold their own pretty effectively here. Cosmo holding on to a light lead with some solid pressure from that Thunderbird and Lockjaw, just looking for a little bit more damage. And he's going to be able to land it with the T-Bird. Iceman a little too quick to drop out of that Actress Aura and ends up getting sniped down. Cosmo starting off, gets the T-Bird stun, but is not able to follow up with it at all. Just a little bit too far away on range. Iceman starting to get some repression, some pressure of their own. Rush comes out, but it's not going to be able to connect. Tries to go for another rush, but Iceman able to evade and punishes yet again. Freeze with the Cooler Aim, not going to be able to follow up with anything, and again, dashes right into the Thunderbird, allowing Cosmo to safely break out of that Ice Chain. Iceman holding on to a solid health lead. The platforms raising up, giving Iceman that height advantage, but not for long as they quickly get battered down. Iceman just looking for a couple more hits. Cosmo trying to find a way in with these attacks. But as Iceman is starting to warm up against this matchup, Cosmo is slowly losing more and more ground. Another freeze. And this time, Iceman going for the mix-up, catching Cosmo off guard, and is going to be able to land the KO as a result. Both players sticking with these loadouts, continuing to push onwards with their strats. So far though, Iceman looks like he's getting a little more rewarded for his plays until that Lockjaw just eats through all of Iceman's health and balances out that difference. Another rush misses, and Cosmo gonna get caught out. 165 damage. And Iceman putting themselves in a light lead. That block gonna safely protect Iceman as they quickly move right behind it, recognizing a potential grab opportunity for Cosmo. And Cosmo is gonna end up missing out on 150 damage as a result. That would actually put Iceman on a last hit state right now. Iceman still has a little bit more health to work with as a result. They're going to be able to utilize it to survive that. Cosmo going to get caught up by this rush. 325 damage. We are now on a last hit stance. And it's going to be Iceman with the tri-bolt bullet. Sneaking in and sniping Cosmo down and putting Iceman at advantage. Iceman looking for just one more win to be able to move on to face off against Shady. Cosmo has to be able to take this round as well to balance things out. We'll have to see how things go, how the stages favor, and it looks like we're going to be going to Name Redacted. This Min might be a little more scarier than Cosmo might anticipate. Being able to utilize these tubes, this long hallway, and that conveyor belt just to kind of wall Cosmo out. The Dragon definitely a very powerful tool in this stage, with everything just constantly dancing and shifting around. Name Redacted is kind of under some... kind of has quite the eye on it right now, considering the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, from what I've heard, this is actually a stage a few players in the community are actually very interested in seeing showing up in the competitive format for potentially future tournaments. So we'll just have to see how that goes. But right now, if Name Redacted shows up as a competitive stage, consider this a sampling of what might be to come. Iceman starting off with a light lead, has that Dragon Arm, getting that pressure going. Sees a moment for rush. Cosmo tries to power through with that heavyweight, but the Chakram just spinning right around its weight. And is going to be able to take the rush away. Iceman going to be able to find one more swift aim with the Chakram and brings the score to 1 point, their advantage. Tamashi, if you could also share the results to me, maybe, and maybe a couple other people, it would be cool. I would like to see what that kind of information is. Just so, like, we can use that more as reference for our future discussions and everything, too. Iceman starting off not at health lead right now. Finally finds that chance to get the Dragon Arm. Now Cosmo's objective has to be to oppress, to be able to take it out, and with that Thunderbird, they're going to find that chance. And the rush not going to be able to land successfully. Iceman just a little too high, and the Chakram able to just kind of curve right around that heavy arm. Doing a very effective job of just countering out Cosmo's loadouts and approach. Another stun. Not going to be able to combo off of it, but Iceman does just need that one final hit to close things out. Cosmo. And it's going to be that one final snipe. Iceman moving on 2-0. And we'll be heading on to face off against Shady. Iceman moving on to face off against Shady. Cosmo moving down in the bracket and will be facing off against Tamashi, who maybe has a trick or two under her sleeve now, as she just watched that match. Iceman, get back in here. Alright, not Tamashi. Iceman and Shady. that gap. It did happen, yes. It was very much the happening that did happen. Either way, it was probably going to be a match that you weren't too excited for, Tamashi. But you got this! We believe in you! Yeah, Cosmo's definitely stepping up their play. They're warming up a lot more, getting up much more comfortable with their playstyle, their approach. Might see more of them in the future. As they improve themselves and hone their focus. Looks like we're going to be starting off with Buster Beach for this next bout. The first match of the winter finals. This is definitely going to be an interesting one, as these two are very aggressive, but can be aggressive. That said, I'd say Shady's probably a little more comfortable with aggression. And we're definitely going to be seeing some of that, as they're going to stick with Twintel. And it looks like Iceman's actually going to be playing a nice long-distance game of Bite and Bark. Starting off with the Popper and Slaps. Two very solid picks for this character. Especially coupled up with that third arm, the glove that comes out of Bark. Can just allow for Iceman to have some really good boxing pressure. Shady gonna be able to start off this oppression, gets a health lead. But Bark definitely coming in clutch, gets some damage on Shady, and is gonna create more than enough of an opportunity for Iceman to take back the lead. And is gonna get some good pressure of their own now. With this tempo lead, this opportunity to just kind of batter down Shady. Try to create as much of a lead as possible. Shady quickly trying to chase in, gets the hit, gets the grab confirmed. But gets punched down out of the sky by Bark, the goodest of boys. Only for that good boy to get punched down through a rush. And not going to be able to help out here as Shady closes things out with a grab. I love the fact that the characters will just randomly say their name. It's just like, Twintel wins, and she's like, Twintel! It's like, yes, cool. Yes, that is you. Congratulations. Out comes the rush. But Shady, more than prepared, utilizes that Actor Sword to slow things down. Only going to take some chip damage off of it, but Iceman able to land it disarmed because of that chip damage, and gets a slap for 120. Another hot slap gonna take Shady out of that rush. Now Iceman holding on to a very confident lead, and he's gonna be able to close this round out. Not yet. Not able to get that roaster to land alongside that Slapamander. The timing between those two arms just very difficult to land. As the Slapamander lifts their opponent up into the air during that flurry, which can make it really difficult just to kind of follow it up with any other attacks. This is one of the reasons why I personally have started moving over to the Slamamander, because the Slap has such an inconsistent rush. It has such a different way to approach its interaction. If you do not have something that has good vertical coverage, you're very often going to miss the rush combo. Shady started creating a light lead. Getting some more damage in. Has to be cautious though. Iceman does still have this rush ready. And the slaps coming in hot. Quickly. Putting Shady in a very rough place. As they have to be more and more conscious of this rush coming out. But a safe shield block is going to allow that Shady to stay in this match. Only for a hit more though. And Iceman going to close it out with a quick roaster. Aimed directly at the health pools. We got Cosmo back. All is good. All is K. Looks like we're going to be heading to Mausoleum next. Shady looking for somewhere a little more spaces, a little more room, and a little less corners. Because nobody likes them corners. Nobody at all. They just get so oppressive and so frustrating when you get knocked into them. Looks like Shady going to be bringing out a Mander of their own with the Slamamander now stepping into the ring to face off against its sibling, the Slaps. We've also got the Chilla stepping in, so this is very much a sibling battle. Min Min going in Chilla and Slamamander, a very solid combo setup. And Iceman going in with just some straight up damage with the Roaster and Slaps. Shady gets a nice chance to get that Dragon Arm charged up. Going in with kind of the Iceman colors here. Definitely both players have similar taste in style. It's very good style too. So far, Iceman's holding out a little bit more on top. Making sure that Shady stays nice and oppressed with these fast flaming arms. Constantly sniping them down. But Shady finally going to get a freeze. Not going to be able to follow up with anything yet. Just looking for an opportunity. Sees another chance here. But it's going to leave Iceman open to a quick slam. Gets that Dragon Arm set up. The Rush not going to be able to KO here. Just not close enough to get that confirmed. But now Iceman just looking for one final hit to bring out the KO. And it's going to be the Roaster. Shady putting away that Chilla. Gonna switch over to the Tri-Bolt now. A little more coverage. It's gonna box out a little bit less with these medium weight arms. But it's gonna catch Bite and Bark's movement so much more effectively. And potentially can set things up a little more safely in a lot of these exchanges. That Rush though, when Shady gets a little too tunneled into it, is gonna end up whiffing. And Iceman gets a safe punish off the side. Unchart. It's an interesting pick, putting the Tri-Bolt onto that Dragon Arm, as it means when Shady is in that advantage state, it's always that one giant projectile, which means it can be really dangerous and hard for Iceman to dodge. But Iceman also has a much easier time punching through it. That said, when Shady is disadvantaged, it's usually going to be in that spread out many bolt state, which is going to have a lot easier time sneaking around these attacks and allowing Shady get some more damage and create that opening to get the Dragon Arm ready. Shady in critical health here, cannot take a single hit more. That Slamamander gonna create a nice opportunity. They have to get close enough to get the shield break, and Iceman is just not gonna allow it. And sets himself up with a 2-point advantage. Cosmo now just looking for one more win. one more opportunity to be able to move on in the bracket. Shady has to turn things around here and now. And we're going to have one final effort. Shady stepping back in with Twintel in Mausoleum. Shady's got to find a way to just keep that tempo, keep that pacing solid and consistently enough to be able to close in the distance against Iceman without getting knocked down by these barrage of attacks. Just constantly smothering Shady out. Maybe being a little too impatient and rushed here. Trying desperately to find their way in. And Iceman just constantly barraging and battering them down. You can see Shady slowing things down a bit here. Trying to find that opportunity to sneak in. Get some more damage. But Iceman just constantly peppering this damage in. Quickly throws out the rush, and Shady now just a bit above 50% health and a near broken shield, and it's gonna crack right in the air. Shady does have that rush ready now, but has yet to get any damage on Iceman. And Iceman ready to break another arm within moments. And that's going to lead to another slap. This tempo, this barrage of attacks, just a little too fast for Shady right now, who's still trying to patiently look for these windows, these opportunities. Another rush ready for Iceman. Shady still trying to find a way in, trying to find that opportunity to close in that distance. Tries to go on the trampoline and is going to be able to utilize it. Swiftly, deftly dodging around all these attacks. And now starting to get some tempo, getting some damage. The rush comes out and it's going to be the slaps, or the Hydra even, pushing Shady back and confirms the round for Iceman. Iceman now looking for that one final win. Shady going to switch over to the Trockum. More horizontal coverage definitely can help out here, and it gives a little bit more weight advantage to Shady. They still have to be careful, as Iceman is just peppering the field with bullets from the Mander, from the Hydra, and Bark just adding into it, definitely making it really hard for Shady to just keep track of everything coming in. Iceman really leaning into biting Bark's strengths here, just constantly eating through Shady's shield. And already almost has a shield break. Should go for the rush there. That would have closed it out. But we're gonna go for it here instead, and ends up just barely whiffing. Still, just looking for that one final hit. Shady has only connected once in this entire round. Shady trying to find that opportunity to get sniped down by the Hydra. And closes things out as they bounce on that springboard, and one more bolt pokes them out. Iceman moving into grand finals with a very clean bite and bark and the goodest of boy. These good boys. Goodest of boys. Mahal jam. Many hoists. And with that, Iceman will be moving on to the grand finals. Shady falling back into the winter finals. Yoshi able to take Yam down 2-1 and is currently waiting for their opponent in the lower semi-finals. And that opponent's going to be either Tamashi or Cosmo, who are currently in their bout. with that, we have a brief moment to chill, brief moment to relax. If anybody is interested in sparring with me for a round or two, let me know. I'd be down to play. But yeah, beyond that, if anybody is looking to have online, wants to play some Switch games with some other communities, doesn't have to just be ARMS. It could be Splatoon, could be Mario Kart, could be the NES Online. If you want any of that stuff, let me know. I do have slots open in my family account. All I ask for is a small coverage of some of the costs to help out and make sure that it's not so incredibly expensive for me. And then of course, I do have a couple of other exciting events coming up in the next couple of weeks. Starting things off right away, we do have Slurpathon going on during the 9th and 10th, which is this upcoming weekend, where I'm going to be speedrunning ARMS, Celeste, and Kirby's Dream Land. I still need to do some practice on Kirby's Dream Land. I mean, granted, I only need like an hour or two of practice to be warm enough with that game to be fine. I do need to find that time. I do have lots of time during my streams. I'll definitely be able to do that. ARMS, I did just recently do an all-characters Grand Prix run. And I'm feeling a little more confident about everything there. There will be a voting poll or a voting challenge where you can vote on whichever character here you want to see speedrun. They will be speedrun. All of them. Any of them. Only one. But I will do one of any of them. And I will make them go fast. There are other incentives as well, potentially facing off against Springtron in the Grand Prix or 1v100. And then my personal favorite thing that I'm interested in right now, I'm also going to be running Celeste, which I have successfully brought down to 57 minutes? Yeah, around there. I keep feeling like it's below that, but as long as I'm nice and practiced and keep working on it here and there, I'm pretty sure I should be able to be like sub 55 or close to 50. If not even below that by time Slurpathon happens, which I would be ecstatic for. Again, not necessarily my goal for Celeste. I was kind of aiming for 40 minutes, but that's definitely not happening. Let's see how things are going. It looks like we do have most of our scores updated now. Iceman 2-0, then 3-0, and now we're just waiting on Cosmo and Tamashi to finish their bout. And from there, we will be able to determine the lower semi-final match. Might as well get... We got Yoshi Bowser here. Let's get Yoshi Bowser in here. It's always a very rare but an exciting treat to see the great and wonderful Yoshi. This is definitely the Bite and Bark event right here. We've got Iceman making it to Grand Finals with Bite and Bark. Yoshi Bowser making it to top 4 with Bite and Bark. Some very exciting excitingness. Doop, doop. Semis, bam. There we go. And I think we've got our final results for Tamashii versus Cosmo. And Tamashii versus Kanjo. Tamashii versus herself. Or another form of herself, like so to say. Lost 2-0? Yeah. You did great! You made it pretty far. You got a win. This is great. Merv, watch egg. Egg will hatch. Merv, proud parent. Lolos are tricky. They are very tricky. We'll see how the two want to do their stages. Thanks for participating, Tamashii. We'll see you next time. Let's get this battle rolling, singing, raining, yinging, yeeting. Let's yeet ourselves into this battle of Yoshi Bowser facing off against Cosmo. Would have loved to fight Yoshi. That would have been pretty exciting. Yeah, looks like Cosmo is going to be in the lower semifinals. Just waiting to see how they want to do stages. All random against except Snake Park. I believe that is the case. Yeah. And that is correct. This is a rematch where Cosmo was able to take Yoshi down 2-0 to move over to face off against Iceman, and that's not the case in this story right here, as there is a Shady that would have to be fought this time afterwards. That would have been kind of really funny though. Players ready, stepping into the ring. Yoshi going. That's not a bite and bark. That's a helix. Still got slaps though. Everything's okay. Yoshi going in with the Chilla and Slap-O-Mander on helix. Cosmo going in T-Bird Lockjaw once again. Just sticking with this Lola loadout. Definitely very comfortable with it and just looking to continue utilizing it. Starting things off, both players relatively even. Cosmo holding onto a light lead. That Thunderbird just getting a lot of very nice spikes. Nice little pokes here and there. And just allowing Cosmo to hold onto a little bit of control in this matchup. Rush comes out, but it's gonna get slapped right out of them. Yoshi, utilizing that towering helix, is going to just continue oppressing and lands a nice 180 damage complement of the hottest slaps. Cosmo gonna get another poke in with that T-Bird. Starting to balance things out a little bit more. Has the rush advantage and will likely be able to bring it out relatively soon. Nice grab on Wake Up. Now both players on a last hit state. The rush can be really tricky to land, and it's not going to be able to come out as the Chilla charges in and gives Yoshi Bowser the first round point. This is an interesting matchup. Just both of these characters are very dancey characters. There's a lot of movement that goes into them, and especially with Helix, with the way he's able to go into tower mode, able to mix in with that puddle form, and just his aerial movement can make him an exceptionally difficult target to catch. Especially since how rare it is to be able to see the Helix in play these days. You do not see this character show up very often. For one reason or another. So far we are getting quite the treat here as Yoshi just doing some solid pressure, getting some solid damage, and is holding on to a light lead here. Gets the freeze, gonna go for the grab, and is gonna be rewarded getting 150 damage. Now just looking for one final hit. Cosmo struggling to keep up with this gooey boy. He's going to throw out the rush, but misses completely. Helix, utilizing his gooey dancing movement, is going to be able to land one more slap and one more KO. And sets themselves up with 1 point advantage. Yoshi now set in motion to be able to make it to the lower finals. Already currently in quite the milestone for Yoshi Bowser. That would just be that much more of a step for them. We are currently seeing history in the making with Yoshi Bowser potentially set to be able to move on in the brackets. Yoshi Bowser being a long-standing member. Why is... There. Oh. No. They're still in? I think Cosmo died. I think Cosmo died. Yeah, Cosmo's gone too. I'll just make a new lobby. So going back into what I was going to say before, Yoshi Bowser is a long-standing member of the EU ARMS community and is probably the most consistent member to show up to these events. I don't think Yoshi Bowser has missed out on a single Scrapstar since its inception, and has continued to be a part of these to this date. As a result of this, Yoshi Bowser has gained quite a following, having a lot of support from a lot of players all over the place who love their very silly and fun antics, their bite and bark, and of course, the hot slaps that Yoshi brings out. I'm just gonna set things to Scrapyard because, well, wait. Where did it pick? I mean, you vote, you cheer on whoever you want. There's a lot of people who would cheer for Cosmo. I know you're personally wanting to cheer for Cosmo, so go ahead and cheer for Cosmo. It's the cool thing about this stuff, is like, you got two sides to the team. The game, the match. You gotta cheer on whichever side you want. You could cheer for both sides. You could cheer for neither side. You could just, yeah. Have fun. We're all good, though. The sign that says, I hope they both have fun. True. No, wait, no. Having fun is illegal. No one is allowed to have fun. Having fun is against the rules. It's cheating. You have to be big grumpy face. You have to be sad. Only sad. Only sad. Joy is immoral and dumb. Why would anybody ever want to have fun? You can't stop us from having fun. Yes, I can. I can ban everybody. Everybody is banned. Bananand. You've all been bananand. Let me see if I can find it. No. Oh, server crashed again. Where is it? I can't find it! Let's see, quote. What's the last one? 190. Let's see, where. Yeah. No, yeah, I'm keeping on track on that, Fez. You don't have to worry. That's a quote. Where is it? Oh, gods. That's not it either. Where's the quote list? Maybe 7. I need to find this quote now. I don't have it. Why don't I have a banana for all forever? Oh wait, that's a gender. That's not the right gender, but that's a fine gender. I'll take that. Querying the quote gender binary. Yes. I'm sorry, Fez. Your hands do not be. You do not have the feeling of amazing hands. While we do wait on this, I'm gonna take a quick 30-second break, and hopefully we can be back into things in just a moment. Now, there. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah. And I think it looks like Cosmo is resetting their Switch, so we should be good. Ollie, you should gender shift. Wait, you're still an ad. Okay, now it's back. Ollie, you should gender shift. Join us! Utilize the gender shift command. It's right there, scrolling across the screen on the right side. There's many commands. Look at them all. Well, you're apparently amazing, so that's cool. Unfortunately for Fez, they are not. Alright, I think we are back. Cosmo says that it's back. So hopefully that is true. Alright, Cosmo's back and is ready. We are set to presume it is gonna be a Robin ring. Alright, we're back. We are resuming the lower semifinals match. Cosmo against Yoshi Bowser, both again sticking with these loadouts. Definitely Cosmo just very comfortable with this. Does not want to explore, isn't too interested in experimenting too far beyond. Feels that this loadout can do what it needs to against any opponent. And it's starting off with a light advantage here. Getting some solid snipes with the T-Bird. And he's going to throw out that rush, but only for it to be met by a well-timed shield. Yoshi trying to close in the distance, find their way in. The zoning from Cosmo definitely working to their advantage. Just ribbon ring this longer stage, making it very difficult to approach. And Cosmo going to be able to take the round. Yoshi gonna change things up, puts the Chilla away, is gonna look to utilize the Tri-Blast, that explosive, straightforward, wide blast. Lots of coverage, lots of damage. Starting things off, Cosmo again getting some good pressure, throws out the rush, it's gonna be safely blocked out again. Some light shield damage, might not see a shield break here, but it is in a pretty weak place, and Yoshi gonna quickly get knocked back. Slap reaches out, but the Lockjaw going to be able to batter through that rush. And now Cosmo just looking for a little bit more damage to get the KO. Yoshi's starting to get a bit of tempo of their own, some light damage. Cosmo slowly falling into critical. Sees a moment for rush, but going to miss completely as Yoshi punishes. He takes the rush away. Yoshi now looking for Cosmo looking for one final hit, and is going to be able to land it, bringing the score to 1-1. Oh, we need to... that. Both players now just looking for that one final win. Either player has a good shot at being able to make it to the lower finals. But they'll have to be able to take each other out here. And we're going to be heading back to Scrapyard, which worked out pretty well for Yoshi before. We'll have to see how it turns out this time, though. Starting things off with Cosmo getting the advantage with that T-Bird snipe. And utilizing that height advantage to get a little bit more coverage and an effective Lockjaw to wall out Yoshi's attacks. Yoshi struggling to find a way in around these pillars as Cosmo slowly deepening this health difference more and more with every trade. Yoshi finally finds a chance to get some damage in though. Freeze, followed by a Slap-O-Mander and a safe dodge from the rush. Yoshi having a bit easier time approach, especially now that that center platform is broken. Chilla charges in, quick connection. Yoshi now ready with the rush, could easily put themselves in a health advantage state. Cosmo just getting nearly ready for a rush of their own. And the rush going to be able to pummel through that Lockjaw. 255 damage. Puts Yoshi at a light lead. Cosmo going to be able to get the Lockjaw to zoom in. That T-Bird with the snipe. And now it's just looking for that one final hit. And it's going to be the Lockjaw sneaking in and connecting. Cosmo now looking for one more win to be able to make it to lower finals. Yoshi Bowser has to turn things around here if they want to be able to take the round. They need to be able to take Cosmo out here. These Lockjaws just kind of sneaking right into their movement. And Yoshi just not able to keep up with those snipes. Slap starting to come in a little faster, making it a bit more difficult for Cosmo to be able to box down with the Lockjaw. That rush going to be able to parry the grab, but only gets 55 damage off of the rush. Cosmo holding on to a light lead again, starting to warm up a lot to Yoshi's movements. And just well aiming that Lockjaw to constantly catch Yoshi as they're landing, with 3 Lockjaws connecting in a row. Both players nearing ready for their rush, but that grab is going to close things out, and Cosmo will be moving on to the lower finals with a 2-1 score. Yoshi just fell too much into a habit of moving off to the left, and the Lockjaw just started going to the left a little bit more with every exchange. And eventually, Yoshi just got chained down by Lockjaws as he would constantly leap over and get knocked out by it. Now heading into the lower finals, Cosmo will have to face off against Shady. Yoshi Bowser will be settling in at a very comfy 4th place. Yep. Yeah, that's a big thing that a lot of players fall into. And that's a lot of what ARMS kind of boils down to being, is recognizing habits, patterns in your opponent, and learning to exploit and capitalize on them. Yeah, Yoshi would constantly jump and just kind of, eventually, like, the movement for Helix is really solid, but it still is relatively consistent. And Cosmo just started to get an eye for where Yoshi was moving and just started to adjust that Lockjaw to the point where it was just constantly getting snipes on Yoshi. And Yoshi Bowser just not able to mix things up enough. Which resulted in Cosmo being able to take the match. Waiting on Cosmo to choose their bands, and then we'll be able to get things set up for the next bout. Alright, looks like we should be just about set. DNA, Tempo, and Mazo are banned. So it's going to be Sparring Ring or Buster. I'm guessing we're going to be seeing Sparring Ring. And I am correct on that prediction. As we're going to be heading into Sparring Ring. Both players looking to get another shot at facing off against Iceman, looking for some salty vengeance. Shady going in with Ribbon Girl. Cosmo sticking with this loadout, sticking with this approach, and looking to make it work yet again. The interesting thing about how Cosmo kind of plays with a lockjaw, plays a little bit more in line with the Megaton, where oftentimes it's just kind of uncharged. Doesn't really hold out the charge long enough to capitalize on that second bullet, which I can understand why. My personal concerns on that is just the fact that if you're playing it basically uncharged, Megaton's probably your better pick. It's going to be a lot more consistent, and the charge state pretty much plays the same way, just a little bit better. So you're just having a little bit more consistency with your playstyle and approach. Shady starting off with a light lead, getting some good damage, has the rush ready. Just looking for an opportunity to punish Cosmo out and capitalize on this play. Shady sees a nice opportunity, going to be able to catch Cosmo as they try to dodge out of the way. And that rush is going to connect, starting Shady with a 1-point advantage. Shady sticking with their loadout, feeling very rewarded for the way that they played just that last round. And able to mix up as Cosmo tries to go for a read, forgetting that Ribbon Girl does have multiple jumps in the air. And Shady gonna utilize that to bait out an attack, gets a consistent amount of damage, and sets another tempo lead. Utilizing Ribbon Girl's varied movement just to kind of keep Cosmo guessing, and generally a little uncertain as to what's going to be happening next here. Shady tries to go in for the grab. It's gonna miss this time, but does have a rush ready, looking to try to close things in, set something up, and again successfully baits out Cosmo's rush. Cosmo trying to utilize that weight advantage, but you just can't hit a Ribbon Girl like that. And Shady gonna quickly dodge out of the way, doesn't get too much damage out of their rush. But definitely an exchange in their favor as their rush safely takes away Cosmos. And right now just looking to get a couple more hits to claim a perfect. Cosmo just looking for any damage at this point, and it's going to be that shock grab combo, giving them a bit of damage, a bit of tempo. But with only 12 seconds left on the clock, it's very unlikely that they can turn things around. I don't think you can even speedrun that. Like, if Shady just stopped moving, I think Cosmo still loses, even at 10 seconds. But regardless, Shady still wanted that final hit and is going to be able to claim it, setting themselves with set advantage. Ribbon Girl is definitely another very difficult matchup, where if Ribbon just keeps up their movement, keeps consistently mixing up their place and style, it's just the big challenge. The big challenge with playing a Ribbon Girl well is you have to be constantly adapting and shifting, because she's a character where it's really easy to fall into a habit, much like Yoshi Bowser was with Helix. And if you lean too hard into that habit, it's just, your opponent will just start reading you out. They will start getting punishes, and they can get some really good setups on that predictable movement too. Yeah, hang on. What can we do? Looks like Shady's just gonna disconnect. And then let's set it up to Buster Beach. Let's see. There we go. Now we're set. Cosmo sticking with their loadout yet again, unwilling to change. And Shady going to be going in with their loadout. It's been working out so well for them. Actually unsure how well Thunderbird's going to work here, and we already saw a reason why. If Cosmo is not careful, that bumper can actually catch that lower curve of the T-Bird and just make it that much harder for them to be able to connect with their attacks. Where the Mander's going to have a little bit more of a consistent travel, a little bit more of a consistent arc in being able to charge through and get some damage in. The Lockjaw also, if Cosmo wasn't utilizing a smaller girth character, I've actually seen a lot of cases where you give a little bit of breathing room for that bumper and it will eat up your larger arms. Safe Rush coming in, 295 damage. And Shady starting off again with a pretty solid health lead. Has yet to be hit and is just looking for a little bit more damage. Definitely fishing out for another perfect. Cosmo trying to find a way to create some kind of opportunity to get a damage, get some kind of confirm. But Shady just consistently boxing down everything and finds another slap. And that's going to be Shady's perfect for this round. Cosmo just struggling to keep up with this. The T-Bird Lockjaw just cannot keep up with the tempo that Shady has. And because of that, Shady expecting a change up from that T-Bird is going to switch over to the Birdshot. And just now has a very reliable hard counter to that Biffler. Not going to see another perfect in this round, as Shady's already taken some charged shield damage. But it is starting off with a light lead yet again. Is going to just barely try to dodge out of the way, but ends up leaping right into the Biffler rush. Cosmo tries to go for a wake-up grab, but ends up getting caught out. Shady quickly punishing it and is able to land a grab of their own. 295 damage in, and now Shady just looking for a little bit more damage yet again to get the KO. Another freeze. The grab gonna come in right underneath the Lockjaw. And River Girl gonna set Shady up with a 2-set advantage. Oh, I need to fix that. Yep. Cosmo is still in this, has a potential chance to turn things around here. But they have to get a clean 3-0 reverse sweep if they want to be able to do that. If they're even interested in continuing to participate here. Considering their lack of reply though, I think they have resigned. Because they just kind of left the lobby and are not responding right now in Discord. Just seeing how Cosmo is wanting to go at this. Because we might be done. But we might not be. Looks like they're back. And we require a stage from them to be chosen. Just looking to see where we're going to be going. We do have Via and Buster banned right now. So we'll just have to see where Cosmo wants to go. And it's going to be Sparring Ring for what might be the final bout, or Cosmo's chance at redemption to turn things around. This is their chance. This is their final stand. And with everything set up, Shady has switched over to Min Min. We are all set to go. Shady going in with the slam, the tribal, and the chilla. Cosmo sticking with their loadout. Going in for one final try. Looking to try to set things right for themselves and get that game point. Shady finds that Dragon Arm, sets up that tempo, but the Thunderbird Lockjaw combo starts off some slight damage, setting Cosmo with a light health lead. Cosmo not ready for that uncharged grab combo yet again, and takes 240 damage as a result. Cannot keep up with this pressure right here, as that Chilla sneaks in and lands another charge in the air. This rush gonna completely miss. And Shady goes in for another punish. Salamander getting a lot more consistent damage in there and allowing the Chilla to continue its chain as well. Cosmo finds that opportunity, gets the knockdown, but again, getting caught out by that grab combo. Just not able to adapt, not able to catch onto this. And Shady just calls out that air movement and gets a KO as a result. Cosmo starting off with advantage, but goes in again for that grab, constantly getting punished for those attempts. But still determined to try to get that grab, that little bit of extra damage. Both players ready with rush. Cosmo quickly watching as their health gets consumed by these tri-bolts. These giant bullets just constantly battering in. And now Cosmo in KO range from that rush. Looking to try to turn things around, but it's going to be one confirmed for Shady, closing things out with a 3-0 in their favor. The stun arms can be very difficult and frustrating to play against. But one thing you do have to keep in mind, if you have a steady pressure arm, you can generally box through those relatively easily. It's a lot about just learning to tempo and learning your placement and setups. And Cosmo just... The loadout really did not work out well for Cosmo to be able to fight back against the Tri-Bolt, nor was the way they were playing working out. Tri-Bolt kind of just countered at them in their entirety. And we kind of saw how that closed out there, with Shady closing out with, again, a pretty dominant lead once they got that tempo going. Ugh. It looks like we're going to be starting the Grand Finals bout. Mausoleum for Shady and Iceman for this tournament's top position. Heading in, Iceman going in with Masango, showing us some more character diversity, some new tastes and flavors. As this mystical man from the forests steps into the ring. Iceman starting off with a light lead, not gonna get caught by that grab confirmed. Shady's so used to landing and going for. But this is going to be a beautiful opportunity for Shady to throw out that rush. 345 damage. And just looking for a little bit more damage to get the KO. And it's gonna be a quick roaster to the thigh, leading into it. Iceman gonna put on the red mask, but ends up having it frozen right out of him with that cooler rain slipping in, and that small hesitation, that small stutter whenever that mask gets put on, just leaving Iceman completely open. Gonna find another chance to get that armored mask on once again. They've got to be careful. Shady does have two very solid counters to that armor. We're gonna see it utilized exceptionally. Tries to go in for the punish, but that pillar was not fully covering them out. The roaster allowed a quick amount of 100 damage and continued to deepen Shady's lead here. Shady just looking for a couple more hits. Burchuk, just a very effective tool at countering that Biffler. As long as Shady's throwing it out, but when they're playing hesitantly, waiting things just like they were, gonna get sniped down a couple of times, but a rush is definitely gonna be more than enough to set themselves up with a point advantage. Cosmo did get a lot further than they ever had, and it was really exciting and impressive. Unfortunately, I kind of fear things are going to go similar routes to Costalina, where progress actually makes them more frustrated than anything, and they'll eventually just not participate in things because they'll just get too frustrated. There's a lot of, like, mental health is a very important thing in this game and in this community, and it's not an easy thing to get through. It's an incredibly difficult challenge for any player to be able to overcome a lot of those challenges, a lot of those issues. Even more so for certain people. It's more a cautionary tale. Like, it could be taken as a harsh comment, but it's also a cautionary tale of just, I've literally seen this happen before, and I have a strong feeling that that's the path we're going. If Cosmo isn't able to tend to themselves and make sure that they focus on their mental health and taking care of themselves. That's how most players get to be as good as they are. They take their losses and they take them as note. Any player who cannot grow, or any player who cannot take their losses confidently, it just leads to more pain. Long break from the game, mostly due to... No, you don't have to mention anything. They took a break from the game. That's pretty much all that really needs to be said. But yeah, like, Cosmo is definitely very talented, but if you're not able to take your losses in as losses and just use them as learning experiences, any fighting game is going to be a complete nightmare for you. Heading into this next bout, though, both players very evenly matched right now. Either one just looking for a little bit more damage to take the round. This little Scorpion constantly sneaking by and has gotten quite a few pokes on Shady. Some pretty serious damage. And that rush going to be able to connect. Shady trying to punish it, but is not fast enough. And that Scorpion going to be able to zoom right into their face. And leads Iceman with a point advantage. Iceman starting off with a light health deficit, taking some solid damage from that rush. Lusher is going to allow for a bit of poison, a little bit leeway to give them more space to be able to try to get some tempo back, but Shady just keeping up this tempo, keeping up this spacing. And that Glusher just not working out nearly as well as the Scorpion was in that previous round. Iceman does have a rush ready, and that is an explosive amount of damage. I mean, even if Cosmo wasn't lurking, it's still their personal information, and if that's not something they want publicly out, it should not be publicly out. I'd rather not discuss it regardless, because that's their personal and private information, and yeah, that's about it. That's all I need to know. Unless they want to talk to me about it. Iceman has a light health lead and is currently going in with default Masengo, utilizing the Scorpion and Glusher. Slowly poisoning and chipping through Shady's health. That rush coming in, but not accounting for that yellow mask as it safely shields Iceman from all that damage and now sets them up with a potential KO. I'd also say it's probably not a good idea to discuss this here, as this is a recorded event, Fez, and it doesn't need to be in a recorded video that's going to be, like, saved on YouTube. I'm just going to say don't talk about it. As much as you want to talk about it, don't talk about it. It's not worth it. We don't need to worry about that. I'll share my concerns and thoughts as a commentator, but that's about as far as it goes. It's their life. He takes it as he wants to go. If he wants to talk to me about things, he talks to me about things. But that's not tournament talk. Heading into our next match, we are going to be going to Mausoleum. Shady looking to try to change things. Bring us back to the stage that just worked out really well for them before. A little bit more open space, a little bit more room. But I think Iceman's starting to warm up to playing Masengo here. Getting a bit more of an idea on what they're wanting to do in this matchup. A lot of it could be sparring ring though, and just that more tight-knit spacing. I'd say, except for the fact that Iceman does get 3 hits in with the Scorpion. Unfortunately, not all 3 were charged, so you could not keep that ice chain. But Shady taking a substantial amount of damage here, and sets Iceman up with a health lead. Quick freeze. Shady gonna try to go for the rush, and that is gonna be not a shield break here, as that barrier gonna safely block off all of those attacks. And Iceman barely going off with even a scratch off of that rush exchange. What normally would have been a shield breaker there. Iceman trying to set things up for a rush play with that yellow mask. Just looking to have that safe coverage. But he's gonna get sniped down by the roaster. And Shady looking to try to build up this rush, potentially turn things around. But it only got enough health to take a couple more hits. And that's going to be more than enough to close them down. Grab quickly before that pillar comes down. Very well timed. And that's probably going to seal it. Yep. Iceman recognizing, just going to wait things out behind that pillar. Timer ticks down. Both players ready with rush, but Iceman getting the point advantage. Iceman starting off immediately gifted with the yellow mask. Shady fully aware of this now, especially after that last exchange. Gonna be a lot more conscious and just focused on getting rid of that mask. Able to take it down right there. Ice still has to be careful. Make sure that Iceman does not get another chance to get that mask equip. And it's going to come right quick on. Iceman now able to play a little more greedily, a lot more aggressively, knowing that they have such a safe alternative to quickly block Shady out. And with this health lead too, this just makes it so much more oppressive of a round for Shady, who's quickly just losing so much health off of these poisons, off of these solid pokes and jabs. And those who said that Scully was too bad to use, clearly wrong, because Iceman's gonna get a very confident round using default Masengo, and is now looking for one more win to be able to take the tournament. Looks like we are going to be going to Sparring Ring this time. Shady gonna be taking us here. Likely looking into maybe a more aggressive playstyle and approach, as that Ribbon Girl's just not cutting it out against Masengo, who's constantly poisoning and sickening Shady's health away with that toxic dot. Going back over to Twintel here. Might be... I would like to believe that Shady definitely has a solid opportunity to utilize this to be able to turn things in their favor. But Iceman's also just kind of on top of his game right now, getting all these poison jabs and pokes. And this default Masengo is just being terrifying right now, as Shady just cannot keep up with this and is constantly losing out on health as a result of these exchanges. The poison definitely not helping, slowing Shady down like too moderately, and just constantly just watching your health chip away, these little ones, these little small points. And that heavy weight just making the two box in exchange. Shady gonna come out on top. Oh, and an excellent punish off of that disarm. Shady keeping themselves very fit and well in the game. Shady just looking for one more poke, one more jab, but the poison slowly sickening Shady down. But the roaster coming in clutch at the last moment, smacking those toesies and giving Shady the point round advantage. Round point. Oh, I was really hoping to see a double nibbles. The tricky thing with the Glusher is the fact that it's one of the few explosive arms that actually can't blow yourself up. Well, it can, but you have to be like really close to the explosion when it connects to either a wall or your opponent. You can't, when dealing arm damage to the Glusher, that is it. It's just arm damage. Which means that you're actually relatively safe with it. But not too safe if you with the Glusher on your rush exchange and your opponent gets to deal all that damage for delicious and free. Iceman a little too panicky there, goes in for the double punch. Shady able to capitalize on it and is now just looking for a little bit more damage. I think they would have had the round if they just went for a grab there instead of that roaster. But they still only need one hit. And it'll be a very unfortunate story if Iceman is able to turn things around with this, but he's not going to be able to. And that score gets balanced out to 2-2. Oh, I need to fix the overlay. Bam. Oh, right. This is how I do it usually. I don't know why I have it all clumped up together. It's supposed to sit over the screen. There we go. That'll make life a lot easier for me. As we head into what might be the final bout. If Iceman is able to close things out here. Shady is looking for just one more win to be able to cause a bracket reset though. We're going to see a light change up of loadout. Iceman putting on a nade for extra explosion, extra burst. But that nade is going to struggle a lot if Iceman is not able to get these explosions timed well, aimed well. But whenever he does connect them, that's just so much more damage. So far though, this aggressive stage is working out far more favorably for Shady, who currently has a 50% health lead and an advantage against Iceman. Just looking for a little bit more damage. One final hit would easily be enough. And Iceman, in a panicked state, is going to quickly throw out the rush, giving Shady full control of this field. And one more Cooler Rain connection is going to be plenty good. Set Shady ready for a bracket reset. Iceman putting away that Glusher, re-equips the Scorpion here. He's going to be able to safely block off this rush, not taking too much damage yet again, but Shady still has that advantage, has that tempo lead. And with Iceman backed into a corner, this can just be a rough place to be, but leans in a little too closely and gives Iceman a perfect space to slip between the cracks, and now has full range, free movement to just play around and dance as please as they need. Shady trying to close in the distance, trying to find a window to reach in, has that rush ready to be able to take that mask away. Iceman tries to go for a read, but ends up whiffing entirely, but still holding out that slight lead. That's a freeze though, and a nice rush in the corner. Shady now just looking for a couple quick hits, a nice block, recognizing that huge leap. And this is pretty much Shady's round now. Except Iceman does find their way out of the corner, gets the nibbles the bite. Shady a little too early on dropping that shield. And now both players just one hit away from KO. It can go either way. It can go any way. 10 seconds left on the clock. Cooler Rain just barely whiffs. Rush ready for Shady. Iceman ready with a rush as well. Gonna choose to throw it out. And it's gonna be Iceman coming out on top with the just slight height advantage working out in his favor. I would miss when I could press the clip button. Heading into this next round, both players quickly trading even. Constantly just going back and forth with damage. Shady slightly at deficit right now because of those poison ticks. Trying to find a way in to get some damage, and again, Iceman quickly backed into a corner. Shady in a very nice position to get some more pressure. Quickly chipping away at Iceman's health. Throws out the rush, and Iceman drops his shield immediately and ends up eating 305 damage as a result. Rush just about ready. That yellow mask almost set to pay itself off if he can find an opportunity to utilize that pressure. But Shady, playing patiently, is determined to not get caught by it and is trying to build up rush as quick as they can so that they can punish Iceman as soon as the opportunity provides itself. And that's going to be a bracket reset as Shady gets one more grab confirm combo and smacks Iceman out of the advantaged place. Score now fully reset. And we're going to be going right back into that stage striking format as we're just starting over in a brand new match. looks like we are going to be going over to Buster Beach for the bracket reset start. Iceman looking for some icy vengeance. As they do say, revenge is a dish best served cold. It looks like Iceman going to change things up from here. And we're going to see a Ribbon Girl stepping into the ring. Got ourselves quite a blasted loadout here. Going in Tri-Blast Nade, looking to just pummel down Shady's approach. This Twin Tail so far causing a little more trouble than Iceman would have liked. But this is giving Shady another chance, another opportunity to potentially turn things around in their favor. They've got to find a way to get through these explosions though, and so far, struggling to keep up with this tempo, with this pressure, as Iceman holding on to a light lead off of all these explosive chips and hits. Sees a nice moment for the rush. It's not going to be able to connect fully, and ends up getting caught out by Shady as that rush charges Shady's up and allows them to dive in for a response punish. Shady tries to go for the grab response, but mistimes that perfect shield and ends up getting caught out. Some light damage there. And is quickly running low on health. Grab allowing for some tempo, a little bit more opportunity and space to be able to fight back. And the Roaster going to even out that health pool. Shady not giving up just yet. Still very low on health. Cannot take much more damage. But they do have a rush just about coming out, and it will completely snuff out Iceman's. Iceman recognizing this just chooses to force out Shady's rush. And with it, will potentially be able to take the round. I think only a grab confirm off of the Chakram would have been enough. But an excellent use of that defensive shield will allow Iceman to time out Shady and gets point advantage. Shady switching over to the cooler and still has, I'd probably say, rush advantage in exchanges. But that only means that Iceman's probably going to be relatively cautious with throwing it out. Or just making sure that only throw it out when it's more than confirmed of an opportunity. This could potentially be a chance, but Shady's just about ready with a rush of their own. Iceman's just not going to have the chance. But again, don't really need it right here as they do have a moderate health lead and they're going to just safely block out Shady's and even capitalizes on that rush. That's going to set them up with a point in lead. The dancing loadouts, the dancing characters switching back and forth. Iceman currently has the answer to Shady's play. Now it's on Shady if they can find the appropriate approach, or if they can find the right character to be able to counter out this Ribbon Girl. Heading into the next round, we're going to be going to Mausoleum. Can definitely... Actually, I'm not sure how this is going to work out unless Shady is looking to pick a character that also excels at not having any corners be in their way. And that is exactly what we're seeing as we're going to get ourselves a lovely Ribbon Girl mirror match. Shady going in Tri-Bolt Slap-A-Mander. Iceman going in Nate Slap-A-Mander. Two very similar loadouts here, with only that primary lead arm being the difference. Iceman starting out on top, getting a couple of hot slaps on Shady as they leap into the air. Slap-A-Mander actually a pretty decent air counter as that curve, that arc just kind of reaches right into those spots that you're really looking to try to land in. This is actually one of those matchups where it's probably going to be very difficult to keep track of what's going on in any way. You focus on a character, there is quick and dancing movement at all times. You go over and you go for an aerial view, and, well, it doesn't help that they're the same color, but this is a very quick and scurried match where both players are constantly going back and forth against each other with just a barrage of attacks coming in one way or another. Definitely not easy to keep track of what's happening here. Iceman gonna connect with another nade. Is just looking for a little bit more damage. Safely evades the rush and even successfully lands a slap punish. One final hit is all Iceman needs. Shady still looking for a bit more work, but is not going to be able to get it, as one ribbon beats the other down and gets another point advantage. Now we pretty much do have... this is about as close as we're going to get to a literal mirror match. The only difference, one is a nade, one is a roaster. What is the difference here? Actually, quite a big difference here between these two arms. Obvious differences aside, the nade actually has a lot more curve to it, and it moves at a much slower speed, which means that it's much easier to be able to aim the nade at your opponent and make it connect successfully more often, as you can just track your opponent's movement on your own. Where the roaster, it also has a lot of that curve, but it just moves a little bit more quickly and curves a little bit less. The fire element being able to not remove rush is also very advantageous when you're in that advantage position, as it just slows down their rush gain that much more. Roaster is going to come in a little bit better on whiffs, and it's going to come in a little bit better when it's connecting and getting those charged knockdowns. And also it's going to help out a lot more at those surprise reads. Iceman, when they're not able to get those plays, would definitely be caught by surprise by a quick roaster. But the nade's just a little more steady, and a higher burst of damage is going to allow Iceman to take full control of the match. And that's going to be 2-0 in Iceman's favor. Shady still has to come up with an answer to this Ribbon Girl. Dancing and singing and weaving between all these attacks, not even the Ribbon Mirror could keep up with Iceman. Looks like we're going to be heading to Buster Beach for our what might be the final bout, unless unless Shady is able to make a full reverse sweep. I mean, I wouldn't say not enough passive, because Iceman was also playing it very smartly. I would actually say being a passive Ribbon Girl isn't necessarily a good thing in a lot of cases. Yetta is a fabulous example of that, and if anybody wants to look back on some VODs of Yetta at play with their Ribbon Girl, they were generally, during their time, they were considered the best ARMS player in the EU scene. And they played a very unconventional Ribbon Girl that's inspired a lot of the ribbons that you kind of see out there. Where their ribbon was actually very grounded and very aggressive. And just constantly was pummeling and battering you down. I also wouldn't say that necessarily either one isn't passive enough. Both of these players are kind of going in full ham on each other. Just looking for all these punches and jabs. It's honestly hard for me to say who's attacking more. I'd say overall, it's just Iceman's getting a couple of better reads, better calls. And that nade just working out a little more in their favor than the roaster is for Shady. Bertrug definitely a very solid pick here, though. And very close to being able to take Iceman down. But it's going to be another nade. That full range curve, allowing Iceman to aim directly at Shady. Is going to have that one final point advantage. Looking for one more win to be able to take this Scrapstar. A swift dodge, but it's not going to be enough. That roaster eventually finds its mark, and the slabs come in. Shady starting off with point advantage. Back onto this. These two going in with these similar loadouts again. Before I quickly covered some of the advantages and disadvantages of that roaster, here we'll point out a couple of the interesting things about the nade. So while the roaster is safer on whiff or just full connection, nade is definitely very rewarding on connection, but it's also really good on shield, where it has the fastest retraction of one of the fastest retractions of any glove when connecting with the shield, where that explosion also just messes with timing, which makes it exceptionally difficult for players to punish a charged nade on shield. It also has that splash explosion, which if you haven't fully evaded it, that explosion could do enough to take you down. And sometimes that can be tournament points, as it is right now. With that, we are going to be closing things out. Iceman taking a 3-0 against Shady and claiming first. Shady landing a very wonderful bracket reset there and is going to end up taking second place. Cosmo, with some good reads, some great plays, is going to be able to settle in at a comfy third. Definitely one of their better tournaments. Maybe we'll see more of them in the future. Of course, Yoshi Bowser fourth. Once again, probably one of their better placements in the last while. And then, of course, many thanks to Dog Weasel, Tamashi Kanjo, Loading Screen, and Yam for all participating.